The other day he appreciated your effort on the play you got hurt on, but really, really doesn't want you to do that. Is that the message you got?
Yeah, I think something like that. It's definitely after the result. I think it's easy to be critical and say, we don't want you to dive. Which probably in a perfect world I shouldn't have. But when you're in the game and there's a ball out there, I don't want to not show like I don't have motor on tape, and I feel like just it's been so ingrained in a receiver playing in the NFL. You see a ball in the air, it's like I have to at least put my best foot forward and try to do everything I can to come down with the ball. And I just think that we were going 2-minute drive, like I was having a good practice, so I was feeling good. And truthfully, I think if I didn't get hit, I would have caught the ball.
What were you guys able to accomplish as a first-team offense this training camp?
What were we able to accomplish? I think a lot, truthfully. I think just rhythm, timing, trust, able to communicate a lot better. I think what's been great for me, and I think a lot of guys in the offense, it's the same pieces since my rookie year. Maybe a guy here, a plug-and-play guy here, but for the most part, I feel like our center pieces are pretty much the same. It's the same system, and so I think it's just more banked reps, and I think we're in a great spot. Now it's just time to go display what we've been doing on Saturday, and then from here on out, week 1.
How nice was it for you to be out there today? Yeah, kind of like you said, it's hard not to go up and want to catch a ball.
Yeah.
I imagine it's hard not to want to be out there with you guys.
Right. It was great. I think there's always a little bit of beauty in adversity because I think training camp can get a little mundane, and as the days go by, you sort of lose that excitement to practice. And I think that situation of how I think it was the best case scenario in terms of an injury for me and Buddha, coming away with a small little tweak to my neck. Buddha was fine. That play could have been a lot worse, and I think that just sort of reignited and reminded me of how lucky I am of just waking up every day and feeling healthy and have the opportunity to compete in the NFL. There's a million dudes that would give an arm and a leg to trade positions with me, and so it'd be a shame of me to not be reminded of that. And I think that was sort of just a good reminder. That's kind of my outlook, a good reminder of how absolutely lucky and fortunate and blessed I am to be able to live out a lifelong dream.
Outside of that, though, because you never want to assume that there's going to be an injury, how do you keep the mundane things interesting during the dog days of training camp?
I think it's just having the overall mindset of just being process-oriented. I think not every day you're going to wake up in a happy-go-lucky mood and feel like doing whatever you have to do on that day. But as long as you are able to put your feelings aside and just know, okay, this is what I have to do every single day. I have to operate at a high level. I have to be attentive. I have to give maximum effort. It's sort of the feelings don't really matter, and you just operate in the realm of I have to do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to do it at a high level.
You've been a guy that said you've always wanted to play. Any opportunity you get, especially in the preseason,
Yeah.
You guys didn't play last year.
Mm-hmm.
What's it mean to you to be able to go out there and do it this exhibition?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll get the opportunity. We haven't been communicated about how much time, but I assume I'll be playing, and I think practice can only do so much. And I think there's the good saying, you practice how you play, and, practice gets you ready for a game. But ultimately, I think being in a game and getting live reps practice can only do so much. Because when I'm coming across the middle on a dig, I know Buddha's not going to hit me. But in the game, I'm going to get hit. And so sometimes that changes how guys catch the ball. Do you run through it? And so I'm really excited just to sort of get my feet wet and feel what it's like to play live football again.
You've been working with the punt returns. How do you feel about doing that if the opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is Rogers just puts me back there because he knows I'm pretty sure-handed and someone reliable to catch the ball. Will I get opportunities in live games? I doubt I do unless we have injuries, but it's just good to work on different skill sets and be multi-dimensional.
There's been a long return punts before.
In college, I did. My second and third year, yeah.
There's been obviously a lot of conversation around this team, and hey, should they add another receiver? Not that you're paying a lot of attention to that outside stuff, because I know JG tells you not to. But
Yeah.
how does that hit you when you hear stuff like that?
I think receiver and probably quarterback are probably two of the easiest positions to be critical of, because it's easy to see if a guy catches the ball to, I guess, the untrained eye or the average fan. And so we all see plays on a Monday of a receiver catching a 70-yard touchdown. Those happen one or two times every Sunday. And I think, do I pay attention to it? No, but I understand. Like my brothers I have fans and friends who say certain things about guys. So I don't buy into it too much. I know that what we have in the room is everything we need, and I think that our room is just as talented as any room. And I think if guys around the league know, like, just because you might not have a big name or a paid guy, like, we still got a damn good receiver core, guys that will go out and teams are going to have to see us on Sundays, because it's not just because we don't have big name guys doesn't mean that we're not a force to be threatened with or a force to be dealt with, sorry. Family say to me? I mean, my brother's a big fan. I got three brothers that are big fans. But, I mean, I think fans only know so much because they're not professionals and they're not in the meeting rooms. And so I think it's easy for them to be overly critical about things that really don't matter. And so you kind of just got to let people have opinions about it. But they're not the ones that have to go strap it up every Sunday and go perform.
Last year we saw Marv be used a lot on those downfield routes. Seems like in camp when you've been healthy, you've gotten some targets on those deeper downfield routes. Do you have a sense of whether that's going to change at all with your respective roles on those types of kind of field stretching routes?
No, I don't think. I think that's I think it's an emphasis for our offense this year is we want to be explosive in the passing game. I think just stating objective facts, I think the last 2 years we've been sort of on the bottom tier of generating explosives in the passing game. And so that's going to be an emphasis for our receiver core, is not only getting vertical and being a threat downfield, but also getting yak yards and turning 5-yard gains or 5-yard catches into 20-yard gains. So I think just being explosive as a group is definitely going to be on the forefront of our mind.
Where have you seen Marv's extra muscle kind of help or pay off or whatnot?
I think definitely a lot of ways. I see it like most guys when they put on 12 pounds, it looks like they get a little bit slower. I think he honestly looks faster. I think he's playing with more conviction, more confidence. I think he's been through 12 practices in camp, better at the catch point in terms of contested catches and finishing plays. And I think I think he's got confidence now in that if my feet aren't good or if maybe I'm not beating a guy with my dynamic and nuanced route running, I can rely on my physical traits at the end of the day. And I think that's helped him play at a really high level in camp, is maybe the route might not be perfect, but okay, I know I have my strength to rely on at the end of the day, and I can just muscle through, and win on a slant and be physical at the catch point.
You talked about how the game slowed down between year one and now training camp two. How did the game slow down for you? Or what was the difference between year one and year two for you?
Honestly, I would say the playbook. I think I didn't really get a true grasp of not thinking until probably the end of my rookie year, like the last couple games or so. And so I think when you don't have to think about the play and you don't have to think about the steps, and now you can just play fast and react, like that makes the world of a difference. He was the best receiver in college for 2 years. So now it's like he's comfortable with the playbook. Like I'm sure that's going to show up and continue to show up in the league. Like he's had a phenomenal camp, and I'm super excited for him this year.
Can you see the game slowing down from him? Like, does that show up from your perspective?
It looks like it, yeah. I think he's just playing more confident and playing consistently up to his elite level day in and day out. Like every ball that's in the air, I've complete confidence that he's coming down with it, and he's showing that practice after practice.
What impact can that have on you if he takes that next step?
Impact it can have on me. I think that's good for the room. Normally when like confidence, playing well is really contagious. If a guy is playing at a high level, like we're all competitors. We want to play at a high level too. And I think like he's going to be the one in our room to sort of spearhead things. And obviously, being our wide receiver one, like he's going to get the majority of the targets. And so if he's playing well, that just sort of opens up everything for us. We're going to generate more explosives down the field. Obviously, he's going to attract a lot of defensive coverage, so that frees up me maybe run on the backside, or Zay or Greg or whoever's in there. So if he can continue to play at the level that he's been in camp, like I think he's going to be a force to do. Like he's been lights out in my opinion.
I know that there's a lot of preseason left and practices and everything. Is there something to wrapping up here, this part of it, that you like?
I think it's just we're just closer to week one, and I think at this point you kind of always reflect back on how camp's been. You sort of self-analyze. Okay, where I'm at, where do I need to get at, where do I need to get to be at make sure I'm playing at a high level come week one. And I feel like I'm reflecting. I feel like I had a really good camp, and I'm confident. So I'm happy that this part is over, and now we can start playing in games and then get closer to week one. Obviously, we got a big week next week going to Denver, so that's just building blocks.
You mentioned your brothers. Are they ever critical, or what's that group text like after games? Like, are they giving you a hard time?
Critical?
Like,
No, they're so supportive of me. Yeah, my brother Marcus is. I got 3 brothers. So I got a younger brother Miles. I got older brother Marcus. We're 18 months apart. Basically grew up like twins. I got a older brother who's 43. But they're my biggest fans. Nothing, even after a bad game, nothing but support and love. But I think having brothers who support me, and, I was the one in my family that got to live out, my athletic dream, and I was the one fortunate enough. Like, I'm the tallest person in my family. I grew to 6'2". My brothers are all 5'9" and 5'10". But they have the utmost love and respect, and I have the utmost love and respect for them. But I think, like, seeing how hard my brothers work. My older brother Marcus is an electrician. Like, he gets up at 3:30 every day and doesn't necessarily love his job like how I love my job. And I think sometimes it'd be a disservice to him for me to complain about whatever I have going on, because I'm living a dream that we both had when we were younger. And so, yeah, I love my brothers.
What are your impressions of Will Johnson on the defensive side?
He's a really good player. Yeah, I think he's going to have a really good career. I think certain rookies have sort of an it factor about the way they practice, how they approach the game, and you know that they have a chance to be a good player in the league. And I think he's got all the. Not only does he have the skill, the skill set stuff that speaks for itself. But I'm talking about the off the field stuff, his love. You could tell he loves ball, and I think when you pair a guy, when a guy has the traits plus they have the love for the game, that's when you get a starter in the NFL, so on and so forth. You can name the accolades after that.
What have you learned about Jacoby Brissett this summer?
Love him. Yeah, I love having a vet who's played a lot of ball. He is someone I think that has been around good football, so he knows what good players look like and what good offense looks like. And so he's been a guy that's always, I think, been a supporter of mine and will come to me after plays, even if he's not in. I'm getting reps with Kyler and say, hey, I like what you did on this route. I didn't like what you did here. I think, your angle could have been better. And so I think having a vet that's, like I said, been around a lot of football and pouring into young guys is a big confidence booster for me. So I definitely appreciate him.